Prime Minister. Oh.
Things aren't as bad as they seem. That seems to be the overarching message of the 9th presentation of the General Revenue and Appropriation Bill for 2017-2018 financial year as presented by Prime Minister Dean Barrow. But as promised about a year and a half ago, is the best yet to come? Sure, the economy contracted for the first time under the current run of the UDP in administration, and government continues to battle to find solutions to debt problems and a sluggish economy. But the minister in charge of the public purse says the government is more committed than ever to ensuring that all are not left behind.
Credit to the private sector expanded last year and is forecast to broaden even more in 2017. Interest rates have fallen yet again and should fall further. The health of the commercial banking system is the best in over a decade, with non-performing loans falling below 5%. Foreign reserves easily surpass the adequacy benchmark, and correspondent banking arrangements are the steadiest they have been since this de-risking challenge first arose. These are the factors which make for optimism. These are the ingredients that help to solve the objective difficulty of our economic and fiscal circumstances. What are those circumstances? 60 cents of every dollar government collects goes directly to wages, pensions, and benefits for 14,000 public servants, while another 20 cents pays for the goods and services that support the needs of our citizens.
The 2016 contraction in gross domestic product of 0.8% is blamed on agricultural setbacks for all major crops exported by Belize except for sugar. But construction, utilities, and tourism slowed the fall to allow for a modest decrease in unemployment, and inflation kept below 1% year over year. In all, the government came in about 1.6% below projections in deficit and near 5% by the end of the current fiscal year. But in line with the rest of the region, the PM says Belize is on its way back up.
Here at home, the Central Bank of Belize expects an economic recovery in 2017 with real GDP growth of between 3% and 3.5%. The improvement is based on an expected upturn in crop and livestock production, as well as higher farmed shrimp production based on the field trials outcome in late 2016 to deal with the disease. In the secondary sector, citrus juice production and petroleum extraction will dampen, while services should remain buoyant with continued expansion in tourism, transport, and communication, the distributive trade, and government services.
After 7 years of heavy deficits, the government is projecting a small overall surplus of just $6.7 million, contingent on approval of more than $88 million for loan amortization requirements and $180 million to complete the settlement of the BTL arbitration award. But the general tax-paying public will also pay their share, whether on Belizean and Kubuli beer or light bills above $100. The government aims to raise more than $88 million this way, in addition to freezing spending by ministries and departments beginning about midway through the current fiscal year. The Prime Minister also confirmed that statutory boards will now be required to contribute to the government purse.
No. Satisfied, unfortunately, as the math has shown, that the cost of reduction, as well as the statutory board contribution must be supplemented, won't be enough on their own, to achieve our consolidation targets. Cabinet proposes the following limited measures. One, we're going to adjust the excise levy on aerated water, beer and stout, cement and fuel to generate 0.77% of GDP. Two, we will amend the departure fee for non-Belizeans traveling by air, to $40 to yield 0.30% of GDP. 3, we will bump the environmental charge on imported goods by 1%, producing 0.41% of GDP. Next, we will shift the social fee on free zone cigarettes, only in the free zone, to 20%, generating 0.29% of GDP. We will lower the tax threshold for electricity consumption from $200 to $100, yielding 0.19% of GDP. As it is now, to help poor people, you pay no GST if your bill is under 200. We have checked, and poor people's bills don't go above 100. So we're lowering it so that poor people will still be protected. And once you pay $100 or less on your as your electricity bill, there will be no GST charged on it. Finally, Madam Speaker, we will amend by 50 basis points the stamp duty on foreign exchange permits to yield 0.22% of GDP.
Capital 3 projects involving investment in infrastructure are limited to existing projects such as the Belize City Sports Center, Hummingbird, George Price, and Philip Golson Highways, among others. All, said the Prime Minister, are funded by grants and existing funding and not new loans. But the government's main priority, said Barrow, remains the maintenance of its existing program and keeping Belize on the right side of the path to prosperity.
What I and my cabinet and my party are most determined to preserve is the goodwill of the people. That is why, as this budget demonstrates, and consolidation notwithstanding, we will continue to protect the poor and deliver job security, not retrenchment. Salary increases, not wage and increment freezes. Pension protection, not pension cuts. And a durable Belize dollar in a growing economy, never ever devaluation or economic decay.
From the National Assembly, Belmopan, Aaron Humes reporting for News 5.